Yeah, sharp calls. A lot of shit talking from the boys this week. They hate
Oh boy.
hate a couple of our picks, which that comes with the territory, especially when we're going on some chalk favorites. I kind of knew it was coming, but luckily the Lions have moved with us. So as much heated they're trying to give me about taking the Lions, feeling like a genius. He took him a -1. I mean, that
Yeah,
line's
right.
up to 3 now at a lot of books. So not a shocker. The pros are going to like this Chargers team. It's all about at what number, and that's my argument. Is that I want to be on the Chargers, but the number wasn't there, and still at 3, I still lean towards Detroit. Like this should be 3.5. It's gonna get there. It looks like it looks like it's finally gonna get to 3.5. So, yeah, I had a bunch of people like hating on our Detroit pick and how chalky it is, and it's just I have a model. It gives me a number. If it's under that number, I'm with the public on that side. It all depends on the circumstance as well. So, yeah, that line's number. Luckily, it's gone up, so I don't feel like more of an idiot. Because I was worried when I was just sitting there at 2.5. I'm like, oh god, maybe I did totally misread this one. But luckily, the pro money has showed up. It's up to 3 now. Not shocking. A game I loved that. I mean, even now I'm shocked. I loved it so much. Cincy versus the Texans. I really love Cincy. The pros really like the Texans. We'll be butting heads on that one. I really like Washington. I think you were kind of on the Seattle side, which is understandable. It's a weird line. The pros love Washington. Like I can't tell you how many guys I've talked to that love Washington. They love them in this matchup against Seattle. I think a lot of pros view Seattle's defense as fraudulent. That they've gone up against bad competition that has made their defense look way better than they really are. Hard to argue with it, right? They've played a couple of good offenses. Those offenses put up more than 30 points against this defense. That's just factual with the Seattle Seahawks team. So, a game we weren't too crazy about, but it seems like they're taking a position on it. Another game I was shocked by. A couple of pros I talked to really like the Vikings. I like the Saints. It's up to 3 now in a lot of books. So another number that you know, I get where they're coming from. If they want to take the Vikings 3 or 3.5, but at 2.5, how would you not like the Saints? I feel like that was another time we liked a good number. And a lot of agreements in the Jets, Chad, but I think a lot of guys are viewing this as this number is going to flip. Like a lot of people, I think we talked about that they think it's going to move from Raiders being the dog to the favorite. So another game that I think we talked about, we didn't really give a pick, and I'm kind of happy we didn't. Right? I was like, I like the Jets, don't really want to take it. I think the number is going to move. I mean, it has. It's a lot
Yeah.
of books have it down to 1, or some books have flipped it. So, yeah, for games that they didn't like that we picked. I know a couple really smart pros that like the Packers. Doesn't shock me. Uh, say what you want about Pittsburgh. I think everyone's seen that national media lines about they haven't won a game yet this year when they've led by an offensive yardage. Yes, that's a problem, but that's the Tomlin magic. Me and Chad, we did. I mean, my whole life's melting together. I think we did Green Dot Daily Tuesday with Nick, and Nick, who does our luck rankings,
Yeah.
posted the luckiest teams of like the last like 5 seasons, and I want to say last year was the Giants, and the year before that was Pittsburgh. So
Steelers were
Pittsburgh,
3 of the past 5 years.
that's what it was. So
And
Pittsburgh
and they're and by the way, this is the biggest luck rankings matchup of the week in favor of Green Bay.
in favor of Green Bay. So, what they're tracking, what goes in the luck rankings. Apparently, Tomlin's really good at it, and that is getting the most out of inferior players. And that's what those luck rankings really stand out to me is that this guy, the Giants luck rankings of last year, I really do think it shows about how incredible this coaching is. Where it's like these teams these coaches are taking just not talented teams, and they're getting lucky. They're getting the bounces going their way, but there's more to it that with this Pittsburgh team. So, I was really positive I was gonna make this one of our 5 no matter what. Even if it was if it got up to 3.5, I was gonna try to fight you on it. Maybe I need to pull off a little bit because there's so many trends pointing towards Green Bay. But man, this would be tough to pass on our contest at 2.5. So yeah, it's a week of I was again another game I was hoping to hear more about. Chad was this Cleveland game. I
Yeah.
not a lot, brother. Like not a lot of guys are with you on the taking the stand with Cleveland, and I think it's the fear of Lamar and this moxie of they seem like a team that just gets up for it this year, right? Like the only real game we could point to, the game they've really disappointed, this one game the entire year. Oh, I guess they a little bit against Pittsburgh, but what's that Colts game, right? Against Minshew. They dominated Minshew, that Colts game. They lost on a last minute field goal against the Colts. For the most part, the Ravens have been unflappable, but I'm starting to come around here on the Cleveland pick where it's like, isn't this why we should take Cleveland? Then more pushback is like, just take the money line. Like that's what you do, right? You take Cleveland's money line, but for our contest doesn't help us. It's like, well, would you take the 6.5? So I've been asking a lot of people, and a lot of people are just like, I'd rather do
Simon,
something else. So it is
Simon, you
tough.
know what? They were against us on Dallas. They
True.
were against us on Philly. When you know, you know.
Not all of them, but yeah, the Philly one was more split. But yeah, definitely tough. And we didn't even talk about the Thursday game. A lot of the guys love the Panthers. I feel
Yeah.
like we got really lucky. I feel lucky. I don't know about you, but I bet the Panthers thinking this number was too high because they'd made it for Fields. It comes out yesterday. Fields isn't going to play now, or he's doubtful. This line's only moved half a point. I have no idea. You know what? I'm so glad we can't put the Thursdays in our
It doesn't matter. We're
contest
not
because
even
I
going
don't
to
know what
talk
to do with
about
it.
it because, like, it's Thursday, and by the time most people listen to this, that game will be over.